Thumpers, welcome back to another trailer reaction from Hyper RPG. We are doing a trailer reaction for the New Mutants.
The New Mutants. I've been told I say new weird. I don't think I do. Some people apparently pronounce it new.
New Mutants?
New Mutants.
Well, in that case, it'd be New Mutants.
New Mutants.
The New Mutants.
I don't know.
The new X-Men movies from Josh Boone.
I say new.
New Mutants.
And I've been told that's wrong. And I'm like, that was not how I learned it as a child, and nobody ever stopped me. I don't know. I'm going to stick with New Mutants.
I won't argue with you there.
The New Mutants.
This is the new X-Men movie that's coming out
next year?
Early next year. I think in March, maybe?
Really?
I don't remember exactly when the date is.
Ooh, I better get on it.
Everything that I know from this movie is that they were really trying to go for this shining Stanley Kubrick sort of horror feel. And based on the feedback that I've heard, which is very little, mostly this came from Cameron, who said, "Oh yeah, they're really going for it.
It's dope."
So I'm like,
yeah.
Okay,
great, killer.
They're trying to make it. They're trying to make a different type of X-Men movie, which is pretty interesting, right?
Yeah, great.
Most of them have sort of been mostly like political sci-fi movies, action movies.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I was gonna say political, but no, they all have like a political, social message, which is like racism's bad. Like they all have that, right? Sexism's bad. Inclusion is important. I'm using a mocking tone as if I don't agree with that. I do agree with all of that. Racism's bad. No, it is bad. But yeah, I think you're right. And then Deadpool went into comedy. Logan went into Western.
Yeah.
So they're doing it.
We'll see where Dark Phoenix goes.
Yeah. And then the X-Men First Class, Days of Future Past, Apocalypse trilogy is like time period.
Yeah.
Period piece is what they did. 60s, 70s, 80s.
Exactly.
But this isn't. Continuity question. I have no idea. I can't wait to. I can't wait to see this and be like, where is this going to land? Yeah. And does it matter? No, it doesn't matter. But like, wouldn't it be cool if this connected to other X-Men movies?
Do you think it will?
I mean,
Probably
I don't
not.
see why. Let's just watch this thing. I want to know. I want to know. Let's find out.
All right, here we go.
I'm gonna ask you a series of questions. I want you to respond truthfully. Have you ever hurt someone?
Yes.
Wow. This is definitely going dark.
Have you ever experienced anything you'd consider abnormal?
Yes.
Last question. Do you know what mutants are?
That's what they hit you with the. Guess what? This is it's a comic book movie.
Did you know baby rattlesnakes are more dangerous
Whoa.
than adult ones? They haven't learned how to control how much venom they secrete.
Rattlesnake Girl.
All of you are dangerous. That's why you're here.
Hey, Stranger Things kid.
Yeah, Charlie Heaton. Having a good Friday the 13th, apparently. Hey, Jesus.
What is this place?
This isn't a hospital. It's a haunted house.
What the hell?
Interesting.
Wow.
There's something new to fear.
You've been through a lot. Get some rest.
April 13th.
Man,
Wow.
it's really interesting. It's barely a comic book movie. It seems like a very,
Wow, yeah.
I don't want to say generic, but it seems like a horror film that we have seen trailers for.
Yeah.
Young kids,
Sure.
like psychological terror hospital.
It looks like
know?
it looks almost like a Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, it does.
trailer.
With characters coming through the wall,
Yeah.
with those sort of like spook scare
Yeah.
jump moments, and it's like you got no hints about any of the characters. Now this is a 2-minute trailer, not all the way 2.5.
Not that sweet spot
Is this
trailer.
like a teaser? Is this the
Yeah,
official
of
first
course.
trailer, or would you say it's a teaser? I'd say it's a trailer.
I'd say it's a trailer.
Even then, all it is it sets up tone.
Yeah.
You don't
Which
learn which
is
one of those characters
great.
are, which one's Wolfsbane, which one's Moonstar,
Yeah.
which one's, Ilyana Rasputin.
Right. Unless you're going in and you're doing your own research and you're going
Right.
through like IMDb and looking at the cast list and
Mhm.
seeing who's who, then
Mhm.
this does not tell you
Interesting.
who's who.
We're not taking place in Charles's school.
Definitely
These kids
not.
are in a hospital.
Yeah.
There's no clear indication about continuity, not like where in
No.
a timeline it falls.
It doesn't. I guess you can kind of maybe judge that based on sort of the equipment they use, the style of equipment, and the look of it. Like it looks older. It doesn't look like it's necessarily from modern day.
And
It
it
looks
feels
like the 80s or 90s.
Yeah, it does. Some of the clothing maybe too,
Yeah.
but also like that's just how trendy kids dress today. Everybody's a hipster. It doesn't necessarily like they could say no, this is taking place in the year 2018,
Right.
or they could be like in 1985.
Right.
Some mutants were kidnapped from because she asks, "Do you know what mutants are?" So it's like, okay, what world is this? Is this the world where
Exactly.
mutants have come out, or is this is this another timeline and it's a one-off? Is it Logan?
That's
the
what I
question,
think
the
is-
question will be again posed like, who cares? It's like
Right,
fair,
sure,
that's fine.
sure.
It's ultimately not that important. But it's a thing where are they planning to do New Mutants 2, New Mutants 3? Are they planning to do that's Ilyana Rasputin, the younger sister of Colossus, who you'll see in Deadpool, and to do all of that comic book shit. Are they planning to do that, or is it no longer a priority? I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah,
yeah.
really like the tone. I think if you are going to continue doing these X-Men movies, and if Fox is going to continue to push out
You
X-Men movies,
have to do this.
you have to do something different.
Yeah.
You have to drastically change stuff.
Yeah.
Because if you just kind of make the same movies over and over and over and over and over again, then it gets really dull and boring and sort of looks and feels the same.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had like 9 or 10 X-Men movies at this point. We're going to get more X-Men movies. We have Dark Phoenix. Dark Phoenix kind of already has its job and its place because it's
Yep.
been set up by 3 other movies.
That'll be the PG-13. Do you think this is going to be PG-13 or R?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's hard to judge from this first trailer. I think if you just wanted to look at this trailer alone, it has definitely a much more graphic sort of feel to it. So maybe they could go R, and if they do,
Mhm.
I think that's a really interesting first step, especially when the cast is so much younger.
Yes.
To do a younger cast, but to have such a darker, more horror
because
style tone.
because Deadpool and Logan, even though I don't think he got any fans from his first movie appearance, but Deadpool had a built-in fan base.
Yeah.
Logan had a definitely a built-in fan base, and Hugh Jackman's a movie star to go, we'll make this rated R for the story, and we're not going to lose a bunch of money.
Right.
This is a bunch of new characters, and they might want to bank on the Marvel name, and they might want
Yeah.
to get the teens in there for this sort of fun, scary movie. So
Sure.
like, it could be R. It also from the trailer, I'm like, I think you can get away with PG-13
Yeah,
with what
it would
they've
be
shown.
very much like on the edge of
Yep.
PG-13, but
Yep.
I think if maybe they are going to try to push it in a way where they will be very much to the edge of PG-13, but it will still be very much like very dark and sort of. I love the tone. Like the tone is so just different.
The
and I
beginning
love
of that trailer, if you play that again silently, the
Yeah.
beginning of the trailer really was shockingly like you hear the word mutant and then they hit you with the Marvel logo
Yeah.
because it has nothing to do, which is great. It does not feel like a PG-13 20th Century Fox X-Men superhero movie.
Right.
That for the past 15 years, there's been one every couple of years. That's not this. This is a new thing.
Yeah,
That's cool.
and it definitely feels like, and I don't know, I have no idea what the budget of this movie is, but it definitely feels like this is a movie where they sort of decided, okay, we're going to do this story, this different type of a story. We're not going to really focus on, maybe they do, but from the sense of it, we don't really get to focus on like continuity and the rest of the X-Men universe and all that kind of stuff. And they looked at it and they said, okay, how can we tell a more contained story that deals with these different types of characters where we can do a more drastic tone, but we can also make it a much smaller personal movie.
Oh, it definitely seems lower budget.
Yeah, and I think if you're going to go that route and you want to do something that's kind of in line with The Shining or The Exorcist or whatever horror movies that inspired this whole thing, I think doing that in a smaller sort of frame works a lot better, and it kind of makes me more excited about it because it's not going to be about spectacle at that point. It's going to be about how do we build these characters, and there's so many great actors in this movie, including obviously Charlie Heaton from Stranger Things. Like that's really cool. You have
And what's
Maisie
her name
Williams,
from
and Anya
Game of Thrones.
Taylor-Joy is in this. Some of the other actors I don't recognize as much, but I'm sure through the course of the promotional marketing and all that kind of stuff, we'll get to know them. But I love the fact that it kind of has this like real horror entry. Honestly, this kind of feels like what maybe Josh Trank was trying to do with Fantastic Four. more of a David Cronenberg
Yeah.
sort of thriller horror, before it kind of like went to shit.
Yeah, which is so tough because in that it's an adaptation of a property. In that property, I don't think that stuff is in that property's DNA, in the DNA of the Fantastic Four. New Mutants actually had a bunch of comic book storylines like this in the 80s that were really cool. And I mean, it's the basis for a lot of. They were characters who, when they appeared in the 80s, I want to say, like they were the ones that were putting some of these kids in peril, and they had because the other X-Men characters were all the grown-ups. So this was the new class of Charles Xavier, and they dealt with that kind of stuff. They dealt with, I want to say Shadow King. They dealt with the Brood, I feel like, or maybe that was just Kitty Pryde and the X-Men. Proteus / David, who was Legion, I feel like they dealt with a lot of that stuff. Like Danielle Moonstar had a bunch of there was a bunch of like psychological trippy, at the psychic plane, these characters were dealing with a lot of terrifying stuff, and they were kind of pushing that stuff in the 80s, and it was really cool. But they're all at the base, like it was an X-Men comic because there were teen characters like in school. Figuring out their powers and kind of going from there. But Ilyana Rasputin, for example, she has like demonic abilities, and was still the sister of Colossus, who was like a superhero, but then she becomes this character named Magic, who like deals with she like loses an appendage at one point, and then later becomes a character named Darkchild because she's like has like a demon tail, and it's like it's crazy.
X-Men universe goes real dark sometimes.
It does, man. It goes into space. It goes within the mind. It does a bunch of different stuff. So cool. Yeah.
Can't wait. Super excited. Can't wait to see it. Super intrigued. Want to see another trailer.
Yeah.
Definitely gonna watch the movie. Obviously, there's no way around that. Before we go, Hector, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on the internet at Hector is Funny. Adam?
You can just find me at Adam Hlavik. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about this trailer. Make sure you guys subscribe.
And what we missed. Tell us what we missed. I know we missed stuff.
Probably,
there's a bunch of stuff.
likely.
I'm looking at a video right now. Breakdown.
And we're like,
New Mutants Explained. I'm like, okay, I got to go read a bunch of New Mutants comics. All right.
Guys, make sure you subscribe. Let us know what you thought in the comments below, and we'll catch you in the next video.